The Historic Preservation Commission. Michael Ray, you have the podium, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members. I'm here as the staff liaison to the Historic Preservation Commission, and as usual, we have a lot of great projects going on, and just here to tell you about those projects is Wendy McClure. She's the chair of the Historic Preservation Commission, and with that, I'll introduce Wendy.
Good evening,
Welcome,
Mayor
Wendy.
Lambert and Council. I recognize many of you from serving on various commissions and task force in the community. We've had a pretty active year on the commission, and some ongoing projects, and that we've been able to further initiatives and working on some new ones. And so you're going to have to show me the technology right here. Okay. So there's a list of our commission members. I'm the chair this year, and Nels Reese the vice chair. One of our big projects every year, and you may have seen a copy around, is our Preservation Moscow newsletter. Also, I'd like to thank Wayne Krause, who's our council advisor this year. And I think many of you have served as council advisors. Mike's handing out our Preservation Moscow, which is our annual newsletter, where it goes, right now it's distributed primarily through the newspaper to subscribers. We're trying to figure out how to broaden our reach a bit. I was actually pounding the pavement, handing out copies to our neighbors the last few days. The report, or the newsletter, this year features Moscow's early years of development, its first 20 years of development from 1871 to 1891, and who some of the key players were. Also, Fort Russell is featured partly as a teaser for people because one of our other main initiatives is working on updating the Fort Russell neighborhood that I'll talk about in a minute. We also, the newsletter also features Orchid Awards that we award every summer in conjunction with the Ice Cream Social at the Latah County Historical Society. The awards recognize individuals and projects, and they're both whether it's a contractor or an individual who's accomplished something in terms of forwarding preservation initiatives. And so you can take a look at some of those, the list there, and I don't know if should I go down it or no?
Just maybe
name
each project.
Okay, so I'll have to put my glasses on. The font's a little slow. Elizabeth Graff and John Dunn for their adaptive reuse of Turnstone Flats, which has associations with the Psychiana religion that was founded here back in the 1930s, and they've worked to upgrade energy efficiency and include a mixed-use building, which is very much in line with our comprehensive plan. Economic modeling specialists for the EMSI for their adaptive reuse of the former Daily News building. Bob Wilson of Wilson Construction for his craftsmanship in restoring a single shingle roof on one of the buildings that's on the National Register. Jordan Lowe, an architecture student who just graduated for an incredible large format watercolor streetscape that really took over our whole studio space in the architecture program that went across the room 25 feet in length, and Maria Maggi for carefully maintaining a residence at South Asbury Street. So those are the individuals who received awards this year, and we always are welcome nominations for the coming year if we've overlooked some projects. So. Another project was the installation, ongoing project, is the installation of plaques that you may have noticed on our throughout our downtown district, our National Historic District in the downtown area, so that it gives an immediate recognition to the building and the date that it was constructed. So you can see that. We also sponsor walking tours throughout Fort Russell, in the downtown area, and sometimes up on campus as well. Nels Reese is usually the champion of that. Sometimes I help him out. And here are just a couple of examples, but we've been doing this for a number of years to various community groups. Sometimes we just set up a booth at the farmers market and just take people on tours during Preservation Week in May. That's also the Moscow Historic Preservation Commission partnered with the city staff and the Chamber of Commerce and submitted a letter of interest to be the host city for Idaho's Heritage Conference. This will be the second conference. We were selected among several competitors, and it'll be the second conference for the state, the first held in Boise last year. We expect at least 200 participants from around the state to come to Moscow. We're neck deep in planning the conference right now. A couple of us from the commission, along with Mike, are on the local planning committee for that. And so we're progressing with our planning, and the Chamber of Commerce is our partner, and others as well. Another big initiative is we are in the process of updating the Fort Russell District, which was established in 1980. You can see the red boundaries. They were really convoluted boundaries at the time because in some cases it was trying to avoid properties of people who were afraid that being in an historic district would mean they couldn't do anything with their property, which is not true. So we wanted to clarify the boundaries and also include actually some of the original plat of the Fort Russell District, which is farther south on that map. So the red line shows where the existing district is. The blue line shows the potential new boundaries. This is a multi-year project. Our consultants that we've retained have resurveyed at the State of Idaho Historic Preservation Office's request 116 properties that are currently on the National Register as part of the original district, reevaluating them, and they've also uncovered about 320 more properties that would potentially be eligible, partly because in 1980 a property had to be 50 years old. Well, here we are in 2014, and so the architecture moves on and styles change, and so we have a longer history. So you can see part of their report. I'm plowing through it myself. We just got a draft from the consultants, and we meet with them on Thursday to hear their findings, their initial findings. But you can see some of the sample pages from their lengthy report for Phase 1 and Phase 2. It might be noted that some of the signature buildings in Moscow that we think about, the McConnell Mansion and et cetera, are not included in the district. So that would be, the proposal would be to potentially expand the district. And those are some of the examples. And other future tasks, we'd like to have a more comprehensive overview of buildings throughout Moscow to see if they might be eligible for the National Register, or perhaps form a local register. And also, we're looking for a publisher, or at least a funding to support republishing the famous and now out of print completely and very difficult to get Moscow, a Great Good Country. So I think those are, and we're in a process of visioning for next year as well. So thank you for your attention. And so,
thank you, Wendy. Does anybody like to, from council, like to make a comment? I think it's terrific work. This is an excellent newspaper. I love stuff like this. I'm kind of a history buff anyway, so that's one of the things I love to do is read history. And,
well,
can't be any better than right here in our own town.
Right.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Good stuff.